York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. We are starting out the day with temperatures a little cooler than yesterday morning in the 60s with still somewhat muggy conditions. A live look at downtown Utica right now. A lot of us traded to a very nice sunrise early today. And again, those temperatures starting out this morning at 67, very humid, no longer in that tropical category, but we'll still be talking about humid conditions lingering into the weekend. More on that in just a second. Local temperatures all across the Mohawk Valley, 65 Dollarville, 64 Little Falls, heading into Oneida County, 69 Westernville, Lowellville, 68 up in Lewis County, and up in the North Country still in the 60s. Southern Valley, 60s across the region. And again, we're talking about dry conditions to start right now in the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. But same thing to yesterday. Some of us will see some storms. Some of us will see completely dry weather. It's just the way this weather pattern works with these random pop-up storms due to the high humidity. Matter of fact, speaking of that humidity, very humid near tropical conditions for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. So this weekend feeling a lot like a midsummer weekend. And a bit unsettled for both days, but not each day is going to be a complete washout. Some relief in the humidity will arrive on Monday, but the long-range models indicate that humidity will make its return by the middle of the week. So let's head straight to the Skycast. I want to talk all about the weekend. First off, today, temperatures starting out in the 60s, climbing into the 80s. A few spotty storms here and there. Not everyone sees them, but these could produce some heavier downpours with that high humidity, as well as some gusty winds. And then following that, tonight, lows will fall down into the upper 60s, low 70s. And then for Saturday, a bit muggy, dry start. And then you can see here, a round of showers or thunderstorms will move through. Then we'll dry out again. Same story for Sunday. A mixed bag of some sunshine, clouds, and thunderstorms here and there throughout the day. And then following that, again, we'll have some dry weather move in once more by the evening. So the weekend is not a complete washout, but there are thunderstorm chances both days. So if you want to download the Storm Tracker weather app right there at the bottom of your screen, it will, of course, send you notifications of nearby lightning and as well as nearby downpours in case you do have any outdoor events and you want to make sure you're planning around potentially moving indoors. And so for today, high of 86, hazy, hot, and humid. Scattered thunderstorms in the evening. Heat wave officially coming to an end today. Tonight, a low of 69, very muggy with an isolated storm. Your 7-day forecast. We're still in the 80s the next few days. Weekend still looking a bit humid as well. And then following that, a relief in the humidity by Monday with sunshine moving in on Tuesday. And of course, lower humidity, drier weather. Wednesday, some more rain showers. And then following that, we'll still remain in the 70s with higher humidity by the end of next week. So we're still not going to be breaking this heat and humidity, but we're not seeing significant heat wave like we saw.
It was markedly cooler this morning, though, I would say,
yes,
than it has been the past few mornings. And even later in the evening last night was more bearable than it was, I would say, Wednesday night, Tuesday night.
Yes, I was just going to say that, too. Last evening was not nearly as bad as the previous evenings with the humidity. So.
Okay, so a little bit of relief on site. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, acclaimed actor Donald Sutherland has died. 24, and the news begins right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a good Friday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And we got a lot to get to this morning, so we want to get right to a check of the forecast. And a little bit of relief this morning, a little bit better as we were talking about it earlier, coming to work. It was been steamy the past 3 or 4 days, a little bit better this morning.
Yeah, and I think that when we're talking about tropical levels of humidity, that when we see very humid conditions, the dew point drops about 5 or so degrees, it's noticeable. We're still humid, but it's not nearly as oppressive. That's what's going on early this morning.
No doubt.
So let's take a live look at the Cafe Tower camera early this morning. Again, you can see some faint haze in the distance. This is not nearly as hazy as yesterday. And you can see it right here as well with the dew point of 65. Yesterday, our dew point started in the 70s, which means it was in the air you can wear category. But it's still very humid. Sunshine. Days getting shorter and shorter now, unfortunately, with the sunrise now at 5:25, the sunrise is getting later, but we still have the latest sunset yet to come in the next few days. As a matter of fact, I think the latest sunset begins either today or tomorrow. I'll double check on the exact timing. A live look, the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Quiet and dry across the region. We're just picking up on some light interference from that humidity early today. And speaking of today, temperatures will start out in the upper 60s to low 70s, climbing into the mid 80s with a chance for a spotty thunderstorm or two this evening. So not everyone will see a thunderstorm, but we have the potential for it. And the same thing for this weekend. We're talking about the potential for thunderstorms as well as when that humidity gets a bit of a break in that forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Route 12 is back open to traffic in Sangerfield as Oneida County Sheriff.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning. Welcome back. The time now is 6:11. We're getting you set as you head out the door on our Munson Commute Cast. And to start, a live look at downtown Utica. Not nearly as hazy and humid as yesterday morning, but it's still mainly dry. No impacts expected traveling to work today. And as well as taking a look at our traffic flow tracker. On our traffic tracker, we can see here mainly quiet conditions, no accidents to report. Still the typical roads being closed that we mentioned earlier on in the week with Route 20 and a section of 5S and the on-ramp of 5S from State Street, all of which are taking place right now. But again, today we're talking about a dry start, a warm start. Temperatures already in the 60s with quiet conditions until roughly the afternoon. A few spotty thunderstorms here and there will pop up, and these could produce some isolated downpours. So a heads up that those of you that are driving heading from work today, you could encounter one or two of them, and they could produce isolated ponding on roadways. Steve?
All right, Eric, good advice there. Thanks. We are officially in the summer season, as you
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. The time now is 6:18, and we're starting out the day with a very nice shot of the sunrise here in downtown Utica. A live look from the Nexus Center right here. We've got blue skies at this point. And I'm going to see if I can find some other locations here in Central New York who are probably not quite seeing nothing but sunshine. In fact, a bit more on the foggy side. In fact, we've got Lawrence, Sherburne, parts of, I would say, maybe Westmoreland seeing a bit of a light foggy haze, but most of Central New York seeing completely clear skies. Now, Oneonta, a bit foggy. Hard to see the sunrise early this morning. But current conditions sitting at 67 degrees, still very humid, but it's noticeable that the humidity has dropped a little bit compared to yesterday. It's not nearly as unbearable with dew points in the mid 60s. And a look at current local temperatures across the Mohawk Valley, pretty much majority of Central New York in the mid to upper 60s. Southern valleys a little bit cooler, 63 Oneonta, 65 in Cooperstown. And the radar is quiet and dry for now, but similar to what we've been seeing over the past few days. Sudden pop-up thunderstorms that could pop up here and there will arrive this afternoon due to this high humidity. Now, we're expected to have the dew points climb back up to near tropical levels again today. Same thing for tomorrow and Sunday. But then we'll see a little bit of a relief in that humidity come Monday and Tuesday of next week. It's short-lived, though. Humidity looks to return following that by the middle of the work week. But let's head straight to the Skycast. I want to talk all about our weekend forecast. For those of you who have plans this weekend, here's what you can expect. Well, for today, though, a spotty pop-up thunderstorm, temperatures climbing into the 80s, and still a little bit humid. Tonight, mainly dry weather. Isolated storm chances come to an end by early tomorrow morning. And then a dry start for your Saturday. But by the afternoon, we could see a few spotty pop-up thunderstorms arrive once more. And these could produce some stronger wind gusts. Matter of fact, right here, this storm itself could produce some stronger wind gusts, as well as some very heavy downpours. So we'll see a mixed bag of this and this throughout Saturday. Same thing for Sunday, although a little bit more on the unsettled side. We'll see, of course, a mixed bag of some spotty thunderstorms, some sunshine, and some clouds. And humidity still a bit noticeable, but won't be nearly as warm with temperatures climbing into the upper 70s to low 80s. But for today, though, high of 86, hazy and humid, some evening scattered thunderstorms tonight. A low of 69 with muggy conditions and a chance for an isolated storm. Your 7-day forecast. Following this weekend, we still got some lingering rain showers on Monday, but you notice here, dry on Tuesday. We'll see lowered humidity. Could be a very nice and comfortable day before some rain chances arrive again on Wednesday. Humidity picks back up again, and we're back to the summertime-like conditions.
And I think you want to stress there, not a washout this weekend, but when it's that sticky, showers can pop up at any time.
Yeah, not a washout. If you have any outdoor plans this weekend, again, keep that storm tracker weather up handy in case for thunder and lightning, but not a complete washout.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Eric. Well, extreme weather impacting much of the cover, and the news rolls along right now.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a good Friday to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
So let's start this half hour with another check of that Storm Tracker 2 forecast, and a little bit more bearable. For folks that don't like the heat, the past 3 days, not very fun. A little bit better today.
Yeah, a little bit. It's noticeable the humidity has dropped just a tinge, and it's still a very warm start to the day. Temperatures in the 60s already. Another warmer day, but the heat wave officially is coming to an end. So we're not going to be officially in the 90s, but heat index values will still be a little bit warmer. Let's take a look at what's going on across central New York early this morning. As you saw on the Cavey Tower camera, some sunshine across the Mohawk Valley, but not everyone's seeing this sunshine. Take a live look at Main Street in Cooperstown, some foggy conditions, but you can still see Main Street in the backdrop. But let's take a look at Oneonta. Very difficult to see. You can see the towers of Hartwick College, but that's really about it. And this morning, some patchy fog, but other spots, some sunshine. Officially 67 at Griffiths and Rome. Very humid weather, but no longer in the tropical category like we were for yesterday. And another thing too as well, the summer solstice was yesterday. We're now slowly seeing shorter and shorter days. The latest sunsets of the year now start to begin between now and roughly the end of the month. So this will be the latest the sun will be setting all year long for the next few days. Radar is quiet and dry, and today we're talking about sunshine giving way to potentially a spotty shower or thunderstorm this afternoon. Not everyone will see these storms, but they are possible. Now, following today, we'll still be talking about unsettled conditions into the weekend. We'll talk a bit more in detail about what we can expect throughout the weekend in that forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And remember that forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, new this morning,
Welcome back. Happy Friday, everyone. The first weekend of summer begins officially by tomorrow. And with that, I want to show our first photo officially of summer taken at Panther Mountain and Paseco Lake by Bill Carter. Look at this beautiful shot right here in the backdrop. There's plenty of sunshine yesterday before some of those storms rolled in some locations. So a beautiful photo right here. If you want to submit a summer photo like this one, send it to the link right there on top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics to have the chance for your photo featured right here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Today, starting out in the 60s, we'll be climbing into the upper 70s to as high as the mid-80s this afternoon. Not nearly as warm as the past few days, but still a bit warm and a bit humid. And speaking of those temperatures, as we head into tonight, we'll fall back down into the low 70s and into the weekend. Not too bad, more so like a warmer than average summer weekend, but no heat wave expected between now and the middle of next week. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. A local animal rescue is trying to help a Montgomery
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Happy Friday. We are starting out the day with temperatures a little bit cooler than yesterday morning in the 60s. Before we get to that, though, I want to show very adorable photo submitted to us from Tammy up in Salisbury. And she noticed that when she was taking in her bird feeders for the night, that one of them was missing. And looking down, she found the culprits of a mama bear. And if you notice it, 2 little bear cubs out in the distance as well. So adorable photo right here. And she says, thank goodness she didn't just walk outside without checking. And me personally, I would have done the same thing. But again, great photo right here submitted to us from Tammy in Salisbury. A live look in Cooperstown right now, a little bit foggy. Same thing in Oneonta right now with temperatures in the 60s. But in downtown Utica, sunshine. No impacts expected heading to work today here in the Mohawk Valley at this point. Current conditions 67, mostly sunny, very humid, not tropical. Our humidity has dropped, and you probably noticed it walking out this morning. It's not nearly as unbearable. Same thing with yesterday evening. It wasn't nearly as oppressive as the past few days with dew points in the mid-70s. And local temperatures across the region still upper 60s to mid 60s, North Country, Mohawk Valley, Southern Valley's same sort, 66 Sherburne, 64 in Norwich. Radar is quiet and dry all across the region as of now, but the humidity still remains pretty notable between now and into the weekend. We're not seeing any bit of a relief in humidity at least until Monday, and even then, humidity will be back on the rise as we approach the end of the work week next week. And a live look at our satellite or our skycast for now. Again, we mentioned that there's possibility of a pop-up storm today, and not everyone will see these storms, but you notice them popping up north and south. And by this evening and tonight, things will quiet down for the most part. But heading into the weekend, if you have any outdoor plans, the morning of Saturday, not too bad. The afternoon, a few scattered thunderstorms could roll through. Some of these could, again, produce some gusty winds. Then for Sunday, a mixed bag of some clouds, some spotty thunderstorms, and sunshine. So the weekend is not a complete washout. Sunday, a little bit more damp than Saturday. But again, just make sure you're weather aware. Download Storm Tracker Weather app right here on the bottom of your screen. It'll send you notifications of thunder and lightning, as well as nearby downpours. If you do have any outdoor plans and need a sudden reminder to head indoors. Today, though, high of 86, hazy, hot, and humid. Less so on the hot side, though, with temperatures tonight falling down into the 60s. Your 7-day forecast. We're warm and humid heading into the weekend. Following that, next week, 75 on Monday, still a little bit humid, and then we'll dry out with lower humidity heading into Tuesday. But of course, the heat returns in the 80s as well. So we're in the summertime heat now. It's summer.
That's right, officially.
It's officially summer, so here we are.
So there you go. All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, acclaimed actor Donald Sutherland.
Now, the news with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
And a good Friday morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary today.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
Well, we have a lot to get to this morning, but we want to start with that forecast so you can better plan your day. So, Eric, why don't you fill us in on that? Not as steamy this morning, certainly, as it has been the last 3 or 4 days, but it's still summer.
Yeah, it's still summer, still a little bit humid, but yeah, you're right. We're not talking about a very humid start today. In fact, a little bit less humid compared to the past few days, a little bit more noticeable. I think that's the main thing. It's noticeable with a slightly lower humidity. A live look at our Cavity Tower camera. We're seeing a bit on the lesser side in terms of hazy conditions out in the distance. Still hazy and humid out there. Foggy in Cooperstown right now, and very foggy in Oneonta. We can only barely see some of those buildings up here on Hartwick College. But in downtown Utica, of course, some sunshine, temperatures upper 60s, very humid. The sunset times now entering the latest of the year, 8:48. It won't get any later than that here in central New York between now and the 30th of the month. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Things are quiet and dry here locally, and today we're talking about sunshine giving way to potentially a passing shower or thunderstorm. Now, not everyone will see these storms, but a reminder that you want to make sure you're weather aware this afternoon and this evening. in case one does form. Following today, we'll still be seeing humid conditions in the 80s and 70s over the weekend, and we'll let you know exactly when that humidity breaks in that forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, Route 12 is back open to traffic.
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. The time now is 7:23. Happy Friday. We are starting out by taking a live look in Smith Hill and Deerfield from our camera atop the Next Center overlooking the Mohawk Valley. We're looking at mainly quiet conditions, sunshine across the board, some patchy fog developing in the lower elevations. The fog has gradually lifted, I should say, within the past few minutes of taking a look at this camera, or at least in the past half hour or so. Currently sitting at 66 degrees in Cooperstown, 69 in Utica with very humid conditions. Dew point is 66, so it's not nearly as tropical-like as yesterday, but the humidity is still sticking around. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Things are quiet and dry here locally, and for the most part, we are talking about temperatures today climbing up into the 80s by this afternoon, with a potential for a thunderstorm as well. And on top of that, we could see most of us could see dry weather. These storms are popping up in nature, so they're not going to be nearly as widespread. But something else to mention too is the humidity is going to be on the high side for the next few days. We're talking about tropical-like conditions for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. But following that, we'll cool down on Monday and Tuesday, but also the humidity will drop a little bit. And heading straight to our Skycast, because I want to talk a bit more about the weekend. So starting out today, mainly dry, a pop-up storm here and there throughout the afternoon and evening. And then following today, we'll dry out. Temperatures fall into the 70s and 60s overnight. And then tomorrow, a dry start, potentially a passing thunderstorm or two in the afternoon. So again, not a complete washout Saturday, but just make sure you're weather aware of potentially a thunderstorm arriving by the evening. For Sunday, a little bit more damp than dry, with a passing shower or thunderstorm throughout the afternoon and evening, mixed with some sunshine and clouds. The humidity will still be on the high side, so we're not going to be shaking this just yet. But for now, the majority of the high heat is over and done with. That, of course, happened at least between Monday and yesterday. For today, though, high of 86, hazy and humid. Some afternoon spotty thunderstorms tonight, a low of 69 with muggy conditions. 7-day forecast. We're in the 80s over the weekend. Humidity breaks by Monday and Tuesday, but returns by the middle of next week.
News with Steve McMurray and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us this Friday. I'm Steve McMurray, in for Gary this afternoon. Still pretty hot and steamy out there, and more storms possibly looming. Eric joins us now to tell us a little bit about that. And we saw the radar, some pretty significant lightning strikes, but we thought that was going to happen based on the humidity.
Yeah, high humidity, warmer temperatures, kind of that's what we expect with some of these days. We'll get pop-up storms here and there. Let's take a live look at the radar right now and see how these are shaping up. So we've got two notable storms on the radar. I'll zoom into the one up in the North Country right now. This is passing just north of Ohio along the intersection heading up Route 8 closer to Morehouse up in Hamilton County. Some heavier downpours, thunder and lightning. The stronger of the two storms, in fact, just approaching Edmiston. It's going to be reaching locations out here, Cooperstown, Morris, right in between Milford. This entire region right now, in fact, just north of Sherburne up into Brookfield, the Route 8 connection all the way down here, seeing significant rainfall at this point, along with some thunder and lightning. And we'll take a look at winds in just a few moments. But again, we're tracking a few spotty storms. Those of you in Cooperstown right now, 85 degrees. Definitely want to either grab an umbrella or, best case scenario, head indoors as this storm will be arriving in just several minutes or so. Local temperatures across central New York, we've climbed into the 80s. 88 Little Falls, 85 Dollarville, 82 Westernville. To the south, 86 Sherburne, 85 Cooperstown, 81 in Oneonta. In the next several hours, again, pop-up storms possible. As we just saw on the radar, not everyone will see them, but some of you will. And just a reminder that we're going to be talking about these chances heading into this evening. And then by tonight, we'll dry out. But then we have a look at potentially an unsettled weekend. Details on that straight ahead. Steve?
All right, Eric, we'll check in with you shortly. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office has
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back, everyone. The time now is 12:11 and we are tracking a few thunderstorms on the radar. We'll get to that in just a second. Live look at downtown Utica right now. It's still a bit humid, still a bit warm out there as well. Current temperature officially at Griffiths and Rome, 83 degrees. The latest sunsets of the year, by the way. And in just a few minutes, coming up in our next half hour, we're going to be talking about the strawberry full moon you could probably see tonight. Very humid out there currently, dew point of 68 degrees, so not nearly as humid as yesterday, but it is still humid. And we'll track those conditions heading throughout the weekend. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. I'm going to be tracking just the main storm I'm focused on, which is in the southern valleys. And this is producing a good amount of lightning. I'm going to zoom in right till about here. And this is actually impacting Edmiston currently, north of Norwich, north of Morris. Another lightning bolt just got picked up right there in a lightning tracker, passing primarily south of Brookfield and just passed through Hamilton. And this is tracking in the southeast direction. So this will be heading closer to Cooperstown in a few minutes, heading closer to Morris, Lawrence, Oneonta. Those of you in central to south Otsego County will be seeing most of this storm here. But back to the bigger picture. This is avoiding mainly most of the Mohawk Valley as of now. So those of you in the Mohawk Valley region, Little Falls, Utica, heading up even closer to Rome, no immediate risk with storms at this point. Humidity still remains pretty high today, near tropical levels, but not quite. Saturday and Sunday, near tropical levels of humidity once more, but then we'll get a bit of a break in the humidity by Monday and Tuesday of next week. But how is this weekend shaping up? Well, 80s, upper 70s, spotty thunderstorms, scattered thunderstorms Sunday. Not a complete washout both days, but it's not going to be completely dry either, and there's still a risk for a thunderstorm both days. So overall ratings, I'm giving Saturday 3 stars, and Sunday being a little bit more damp, I'm bringing it down to 2 stars. So not the worst days in the world, but again, this is nothing like the absolutely fantastic weekend we saw last weekend. On our Skycast, you can see what we mean by very hard to track random storms. This is what our Skycast is showing right now. A reminder, our radar has a strong storm with thunder and lightning in the southern valleys at this point. So all the science and all the data in the world can't quite pick up on some of these storms right now. So these are random, popping up out of nowhere. And these will continue to push through the region heading into this evening and tonight. What we can tell you is it'll be mainly dry overnight into early tomorrow morning. None of these pop-up storms being the main risk. But as we head into Saturday, dry start, then we could see some of these storms pop up once more. This one indicating a little bit on the stronger side, but other models indicating more spotty in nature. So we'll keep an eye on these storms. A reminder, download the Storm Factory weather app right there at the bottom of your screen. It'll give you notifications of thunder and lightning nearby, as well as nearby downpours, and of course, we'll be updating the app as things do develop. Today, high 86, hazy, hot, and humid. Tonight, a low of 69, a little bit on the muggy side. 7-day forecast. Still in the upper 70s, mid 80s by this weekend, and following that, Monday and Tuesday, we're drying out, some sunshine moving in, and also lower humidity. We'll see a little bit of that on Tuesday, but we'll see humidity return as we head into the middle end of the work week. So it's short-lived. The low humidity, lots of sunshine is not a very typical thing we see as we head into summertime. Humidity usually follows.
Right, and and again, watch out for those pop-up storms. We reported yesterday some heavy blasts of rain. If you're on the road, especially motorcyclists out there, just be careful because those things pop up out of nowhere. So, all right, thanks a lot, Eric. Well, millions of Americans are trying to survive the heat. Temperature 3 days. And today, no different.
Yeah, no different. Yeah, and on top of that, too, with the clearing skies we're going to be seeing this evening and tonight, we're talking about potential to see the strawberry moon as well. Moonrise set at 9:05, moon set 5:20. Go ahead and take a look at this great viewing of the moon for this evening. But as Steve mentioned, I want to take a look at the radar because we got a stronger storm starting to move through parts of Otsego County right now. So to start, I want to mention again to the south, lots of lightning heading through Edmiston, rumbles of thunder, and on top of that as well, some stronger wind gusts. We're tracking the velocity with these storms right now, and you can see here some higher wind gusts here just south of Edmiston, heading closer to Morris. So with this storm, stronger wind gusts as well as heavy downpours and thunder and lightning. That's heading closer to Cooperstown. Those of you walking along Main Street in Cooperstown or outside might want to find a way to get indoors as the storm continues to approach. 83 right now. I think that storm will cool things down a little bit following the wake of the rain showers. 80s in the Mohawk Valley, 90 in Little Falls. We reached the 90-degree mark down there. 81 Oneonta, 76 in Sherburne when that storm rolled through. So this will cool things down temporarily with temperatures falling down into the 70s overnight tonight. Potential spotty showers again throughout the afternoon and evening. And we're tracking those plus your full weekend forecast straight ahead. Steve?
All right, and the picture you showed said a strawberry moon, but it looked blue.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. The time now is 12:39 and we are tracking humid and warm conditions here in the Mohawk Valley, but in other spots, a few storms. Let's take a live look right now in downtown Utica at this point. So a few passing clouds, temperatures still in the 80s, some spots approaching near 90, very humid conditions with dew points in the upper 60s, but it does feel a little bit less humid today compared to yesterday. It was tropical, at least yesterday and the past few earlier on in the week. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We've got a few storms heading into Hamilton County, but I want to focus in on this one storm in Otsego County. Lots of lightning. In fact, some more lightning getting picked up on our lightning tracker just right now. And something else to mention too, heavier downpours, thunder and lightning, but also some stronger wind gusts. We're taking a look at the velocity scans at some of these storms here, and we got some brighter reds that indicate some stronger bursts of wind. And so far, we are looking at potentially up to 50-mile-per-hour winds with this storm, and it's continuing to track more and more to the east. I'm going to put a track on this. You can see it pushing down into parts of Milford, Cooperstown, locations in south central Otsego County. Watch out for this storm as it could produce some ponding on roadways as well. With the humidity, it's still noticeable, very warm today, and it will reach tropical levels later on this evening into Saturday and Sunday. But following that, we'll see a temporary relief in the humidity by Monday and Tuesday. But after that, humidity will make its return again. Talking about the weekend, it's not a complete washout. We got a mixed bag of some spotty thunderstorms, sunshine, clouds, temperatures in the 80s, and still notable humidity. My ratings for these weekend days, 3 stars for Saturday. I'd put 2 stars for Sunday. And again, nothing compares to the absolutely fantastic weekend last weekend. But for now, we're just going to keep an eye on these potential storms throughout the next few days. Speaking of storms, on our Skycast, we mentioned how these storms pop up randomly and are very difficult to predict. Now you notice here our Skycast indicating storms up north, that storms south, not even in this model right here. So this is what we mean by these storms popping up at random, and these will continue over the next few hours before forcing begins to end, what little forcing there is in the atmosphere by the overnight hours. Muggy conditions, maybe some patchy fog, temperatures starting out in the upper 60s, low 70s by tomorrow morning. Saturday, another warm day, temperatures in the 80s with potentially a few thunderstorms popping by, and then following that, we're back down into the 70s overnight and a few more spotty showers and storms here and there by Sunday. So Saturday, the drier of the 2 weekend days, but not each day will be a complete washout. But a reminder that you want to make sure you have our Storm Tracker, your weather app handy to be up to date with any latest thunder and lightning and downpours that could arrive nearby. For today, though, a high of 86, hazy and humid. Scattered storms tonight, a low of 69 and very muggy. Your 7-day forecast, 80s throughout the weekend. Then as we head into Monday and Tuesday next week, 70s and 80s. Humidity breaks a little bit, and we'll see dry weather move in by Tuesday, but humidity makes a return by Wednesday and Thursday. Steve?
All right, Eric, thanks. And it's time for News Talk.
With Kristen Copeland and Jason Palace.
The heat wave may be over, but summer is here, and it was certainly another warm day.
No question. Changes, though, on the way for the weekend. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. Going to get you set for the first weekend of summer. Bill.
Yeah, and it looks to be a stormy weekend here in central New York. We're keeping an eye on the radar this evening. While most of the area looks dry and will stay dry, we do have a couple of problem spots to point out. This is a strong thunderstorm in Otsego County. It's dealt some damage, some wind damage in Otsego, and this is right over Oneonta. This is moving very slowly to the north and east. There's a severe thunderstorm warning on this until 6:30 for the very southern part of Otsego County. If you're in the path of this storm, you're going to want to take shelter while this rolls through. We'll continue to keep an eye on the radar here this evening for more pop-up showers and storms. 85 is the current temperature, but look at this. Still feels like 91. So yes, this technically isn't part of the heat wave, but the humidity is still really high, and it still feels like 91, even if we didn't get into the 90s today. The humidity sticks around into the weekend. We're tracking more showers and thunderstorms, especially Sunday. Pretty active weekend ahead. Again, some isolated storms this evening, temperatures in the 80s. We're going to look at that weekend forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Utica police are investigating a stabbing on the 13th.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. Still very warm and humid across the region. We're also tracking a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. Let's jump right into the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that remains in effect for southern Otsego County until 6:30. This storm has had a history of producing wind damage. It's moving very slowly to the north and east, and it's producing a lot of thunder and lightning over Oneonta. So again, if you're in the path of this storm, you're going to want to take shelter. Again, having a history of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds. We also have a couple of pop-up storms in parts of the area, very close to the Mohawk Valley. This is right over Little Falls and then just east of Utica. These storms are going to continue to be very random in nature as we head into the weekend. By the way, a reminder, you see this QR code? This is a way you can, if you scan that with your phone, you get access to our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. It's free. It's a great way to keep on top of the weather as we head into the weekend. Again, we're tracking the chance of some storms as we move ahead. A temperature of 85 degrees. It is very warm. Look at that feels like temperature, 91. So it's still very humid out there. I wanted to go over to the live view of Oneonta, by the way. You can see some heavy rain taking place there this evening. Again, more storms in the forecast both Saturday and Sunday. Still a very warm and humid weekend. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Sunday looks wetter than Saturday. Both days, showers and storms. Looks like a round on Saturday. It doesn't look to last the whole day. High humidity into the weekend. The humidity breaks on Monday. Our sky watchers checking in with temperatures in the mid-80s. Micah, New Hartford, 88 degrees. Curtis, 81. And Worcester with 84. We're on the fringe of the heat dome. It's drifting to the south, so we're going to get into some thunderstorm activity as we head into the weekend. An isolated storm is possible tonight. Overnight lows near 70. Thunderstorms are expected tomorrow afternoon, generally between about 3 to 6 p.m. Again, they don't last all day. We'll make it into the mid-80s before they arrive. Heading into tomorrow night, scattered thunderstorms. Sunday, multiple rounds of storms, early as well as late. Very warm and very humid with temperatures in the mid-80s. Very muggy tonight, an isolated storm, a low of 69. Tomorrow, Very warm and humid, scattered thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon, 85. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's cooler Monday, 73. Showers return late in the day. Tuesday looks lovely, low 80s, sunshine. The humidity creeps up on Wednesday, more showers and storms into the 70s Thursday and Friday. We stay away from the high heat and humidity over the next 7 days.
All right.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6, the Utica Yeti. Bill, good evening.
Good evening, Jason. Good evening, everyone. It remains humid as we head into the weekend. We're not going to get a break from that. We're also going to be tracking some thunderstorms as we take a look at our weather headlines. Again, it's going to stay humid throughout the whole weekend. Dew points are expected to climb to near 70. We're expecting showers and thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday looks to be the wetter of the 2 weekend days. Saturday does not look to be a washout. The weather does look cooler by Monday. We will get a break from the heat and humidity. Tonight, very muggy. I can't rule out an isolated storm, just given the high levels of humidity. Low temperature of 69. Again, we are tracking some storms over the weekend and some cooler weather to follow. A look at the forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, 3 people were killed and at least 10 others.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are tracking unsettled weather over the weekend. We're expecting showers and thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. A better chance of wet weather on Sunday. Both days make it into the mid-80s, and it's expected to be very humid. That dew point will climb to near 70 both days. We do not get a break from that, although it is going to be a little bit less hot than what we were dealing with earlier this week. The levels of humidity drop Monday. That's the day we will see a noticeable change, and I don't foresee high levels of humidity heading into next week. It'll start to creep up again, though, by Tuesday. Take a look at this fun picture. This is just a reminder from Jess to keep the animals cool. That's a good place to be. Just a reminder, though, when we do have thunderstorms, you don't want to be near water. You want to be indoors. Again, we do have the risk for thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. A big area of high pressure. The heat dome is drifting to the south, and what that means for us is we get on into the northern part of it, which brings showers and thunderstorms. And as that heat dome drops more to the south on Sunday, that will bring us an increased chance for wet weather later in the weekend. Looking at our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, it's a very muggy night. Overnight lows near 70. We are generally dry, but again, I can't rule out a random pop-up thunderstorm. There's going to be a better chance for storms Saturday afternoon. The first part of the day looks generally dry and very warm. Temperatures in the mid-80s. That heat index could still hit 90. A round of showers and storms expected in the afternoon. I think it's going to be more widespread than what we've been seeing over the past couple of days. Temperatures will drop into the 70s tomorrow night, still very warm and muggy. Showers and thunderstorms are expected on Sunday. Sunday, there's a chance we could see multiple waves of storms, thinking one round in the morning, another in the late afternoon, perhaps even another in the evening. Temperatures in the mid-80s. The showers and storms we do get this weekend, they'll be capable of producing some locally heavy rain, and we could have some isolated flooding if you get a downpour in the wrong spot for too long. So again, something we'll be keeping an eye on. Very muggy tonight, an isolated storm, a low of 69. A very warm and humid day tomorrow. Thunderstorms in the afternoon, 85 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers and storms widespread on Sunday, 85 degrees. Much cooler on Monday, pleasant, 73, showers late in the day. Tuesday looks beautiful, sunshine, 83. Warm and humid weather returns on Wednesday.
Bill, thank you. Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Jason. Good evening, everyone. It remains humid as we head into the weekend. We're not going to get a break from that. We're also going to be tracking some thunderstorms as we take a look at our weather headlines. Again, it's going to stay humid throughout the whole weekend. Dew points are expected to climb to near 70. We're expecting showers and thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday looks to be the wetter of the 2 weekend days. Saturday does not look to be a washout. The weather does look cooler by Monday. We will get a break from the heat and humidity. Tonight, very muggy. I can't rule out an isolated storm, just given the high levels of humidity. Low temperature of 69. Again, we are tracking some storms over the weekend and some cooler weather to follow. A look at the forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, 3 people were killed.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are tracking unsettled weather over the weekend. We're expecting showers and thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. A better chance of wet weather on Sunday. Both days make it into the mid-80s, and it's expected to be very humid. That dew point will climb to near 70 both days. We do not get a break from that, although it is going to be a little bit less hot than what we were dealing with earlier this week. The levels of humidity drop Monday. That's the day we will see a noticeable change, and I don't foresee high levels of humidity heading into next week. It'll start to creep up again, though, by Tuesday. Take a look at this fun picture. This is just a reminder from Jess to keep the animals cool. That's a good place to be. Just a reminder, though, when we do have thunderstorms, you don't want to be near water. You want to be indoors. Again, we do have the risk for thunderstorms both Saturday and Sunday. A big area of high pressure, the heat dome, is drifting to the south, and what that means for us is we get on into the northern part of it, which brings showers and thunderstorms. And as that heat dome drops more to the south on Sunday, that will bring us an increased chance for wet weather later in the weekend. Looking at our Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, it's a very muggy night. Overnight lows near 70. We are generally dry, but again, I can't rule out a random pop-up thunderstorm. There's going to be a better chance for storms Saturday afternoon. The first part of the day looks generally dry and very warm. Temperatures in the mid-80s. That heat index could still hit 90. A round of showers and storms expected in the afternoon. I think it's going to be more widespread than what we've been seeing over the past couple of days. Temperatures will drop into the 70s tomorrow night, still very warm and muggy. Showers and thunderstorms are expected on Sunday. Sunday, there's a chance we could see multiple waves of storms, thinking one round in the morning, another in the late afternoon, perhaps even another in the evening. Temperatures in the mid-80s. The showers and storms we do get this weekend, they'll be capable of producing some locally heavy rain, and we could have some isolated flooding if you get a downpour in the wrong spot for too long. So again, something we'll be keeping an eye on. Very muggy tonight, an isolated storm, a low of 69. A very warm and humid day tomorrow. Thunderstorms in the afternoon, 85 for the high. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Showers and storms widespread on Sunday, 85 degrees. Much cooler on Monday, pleasant, 73, showers late in the day. Tuesday looks beautiful, sunshine 83, warm and humid weather returns on Wednesday.
All right, Bill, thank you. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating